What's up YouTube, Brian here. So I'm bringing you another little DIY light project today. I have a small child in the house who unfortunately recently discovered that they can find Daddy's fish tank and try to rip the lid off and destroy his lights. So I need to rejigger things to be slightly less ghetto, so that it will actually fit inside the tank lid and the lid will shut completely. So this is the lid that fits into the fish tank. This power cord runs out the back right side of the tank and then behind the tank to the outlet. This part of the lid will be covering a box filter, so there's like no space here at all once it's on the tank. Essentially, I only have this front section here to work with in front of this LED strip to fit my two lights. So you may recall from my last video about this that I had them attached to this aluminum light track. It's the same thing. I'm gonna try to put both of them on one. I figured out that they can fit on there basically. I just zip tied this on here, some electrical tape. I'm kind of worried it's going to get wet and short out, so I think I'm going to tape it up a little better before I put it back in the tank. But by putting this extra tie here that holds it up above the water, I guarantee it's not going to fall in or anything. And then this cord will run right here over the top of this little ridge and then out the back with that. So essentially, sorry for the poor camera work here. Essentially it's going to be running like this with the two lights here along in front of the other LED. These are all LEDs actually. Inside this little plastic covering there's just a bright white LED strip, and then the covering's on there to kind of make it dimmer. I could, I guess, rip them off, but I figure it adds a little bit of protection against water. And then I have one more piece to this that's going to go in, is this little cord connecting these two. I'm going to loop it and zip tie it here, just like on this end. And then I haven't decided how I'm going to attach the track to the lid yet. Probably contact cement and duct tape and maybe a screw, if I can find a screw that I have laying around that'll go through this and the plastic. That would work well. But if I can't find a screw, then I'll just ghetto rig it with some glue and duct tape. Obviously there would be better ways to do this, but just trying to get this done as quickly as possible, to be honest. Alright, so that's the general idea. I'm going to do all that stuff and then I'll show you the final product, and then we'll put it in the tank and you can see how it looks. Alright guys, I'm back. After a couple of minutes of work, this is what I came up with. This was super easy. All I used was a pair of scissors, some electrical tape, and very small zip ties. Zip ties are awesome. They can be used for a lot of stuff. They're very easy to use, durable, quick. So I went back through and just wrapped the crap out of this with the electrical tape to make sure it doesn't get wet. Zip tied, using two zip ties linked together. That's the other cool thing about them. If you have small ones, you can make them longer by linking multiple ones. So zip tied the lights to the railing in 3 places, looped this cord, zip tied it, connected the two lights together. If I wanted to be really cautious, I would go in here around these joints with a caulk gun and some silicone and caulk them, and then wait 24 hours, and the same thing over here and then over here. to cover this. Sorry about this horrible camera work, guys. To cover these holes, basically. But I'm way too lazy to do that, and I think it'll be okay. If you want to be extra safe, if you guys try to do something like this, I would recommend sealing off everything. So next step is going to be to attach this light setup to the lid right here next to the other light. Try to evenly space it. This is going to result in all this tank's light being right in the front of the tank, which I'm not sure I really like, especially since a lot of the plants are in the back, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it, so it's just the way the tank is. So I'm going to go look through my screw collection and see if I can't find some screws that would be long enough to screw through the aluminum and the plastic. And once I've done that, if I find them, I'll do it with the screws. If not, I'm going to glue and tape the railing to the lid and do it ghetto style. So either way, I'll come back and let you guys see how it turned out. Okay guys, I was able to find some screws in my handy little IKEA screw and nail set that were long enough for what I needed. And so now I can add screws and a Phillips head screwdriver to our list of required materials. In my standard ghetto fashion, the screws are different sizes. This one here was pretty much perfect fit. I'm going to try to do this better this time and rotate slowly. Come down so you can see. I just drove this screw straight through the aluminum rail and into the lid, down all the way into the top of the lid. I watched on the other side because I didn't want it to poke through the top and be visible. Now let's take a look at the other side. This side I had a slightly longer screw, but essentially same deal. It just sticks out a little bit higher. So that is the finished product, and now I'm going to put it into the tank and turn it on and let you guys have a look. Alright, we're back. Here's the finished look. As you can see, the lid now sits flush with the top of the tank. It's completely shut and everything. The longer screw I did manage to pierce through the top a little bit, leaving an unsightly dimple. But that's my fault for being in a rush and being lazy. If you open up this flap here, you can see the bottom of our aluminum railing, well now the top I suppose, and it still gives me a little room to put food in and stuff like that. And then this panel back here accesses the filter. So this is actually a pretty cool lid. This tank has a built-in thermometer and light control with touch buttons on the front, but I have it turned off because my baby found out she could touch it and constantly hitting it and turning the light on and off and freaking the fish out. So get down low here on the floor and you guys can see what the tank looks like. Got my rams. Oh, while I'm down here, I might as well give you an update on this tank. It's a little different from last time I showed you. I had that school of 10 Serpé tetras in there, but they were just getting too crazy, too big, too aggressive, constantly chasing everything, fighting everyone, and the tank was just too crowded, especially since I have the zebra pleco. So I sold all the Serpé tetras, long story short. And now the tank looks a lot more empty, but it's good. the Emperor Tetras have a lot more room to spread out, which diffuses their extreme aggression toward each other. The Rams also have more space to keep away from each other because they're still in a constant battle over who's the top Ram, since they're pretty much evenly matched. The two Goramis, I noticed, were also starting to fight a little bit with each other, so now they have more room. And then the Festivum kind of just, he's a big goofball. He just goes wherever he wants looking for food. All he cares about is food. I think he would just eat until he exploded if I let him. But yeah, that's how the tank looks now. Eventually it's going to have the Zebra Pleco released in there too. Oh, cat just leapt into the room. Say hello to everybody, Caesar. Caesar. He's a handsome boy. What do you think of the fish tank, Caesar? Anyway, that's the 45-gallon tank with the DIY lighting. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Stay tuned for more future DIY fish products or the projects and the fish tank updates. Thanks, guys.